Welcome to the Self-Care for the Creative podcast, the podcast for artists and songwriters and music creators who want sustainable success, not burnout disguised as hustle. I'm your host, Stefani Fryzel. I'm an author, an artist, a songwriter, and a creative coach, and I'm the founder of Stefani Fryzel Coaching. We help artists and songwriters build sustainable careers in music and give them the opportunity to get in the room with hit songwriters and uplevel their craft. In this season, you will hear from hit songwriters on how they protect their creative energy, their mental health, behind the scenes on the music industry lessons that you won't find on Instagram, strategies for navigating rejection, burnout, overwhelm, conversations about money, mindset, boundaries, success, failures, and finding longevity in the industry. This podcast is for creatives who are serious about their craft as a songwriter and an artist, committed to growth, and are ready to stop sacrificing their well-being in the process. If you want to write better songs, build a stronger career, and still feel grounded, inspired, and motivated, this podcast is for you. I'm so glad you're here. Uniq Being is a genre-blending songwriter, producer, and creative educator rooted in storytelling and impact. After years of shaping sound and vision behind the scenes, she is stepping forward as an artist with her upcoming EP, The Veil, a deeply personal sonic journey into self-acceptance, visibility, and power. Through both her music and her work with youth, she creates spaces where authenticity leads. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce my next guest and our client who joined us at Hitmakers last year, Uniq Being. My next guest is Uniq. Welcome, Uniq, to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yay. Yay. So we met last year. I had the pleasure of being with you for 3 days at the Hitmakers Songwriting Retreat. And it was so fun getting to know you, getting to know your story, your art, your artistry, and also seeing you in the room working with hit songwriters and just being in the vibes for 3 days together. So tell me a little bit about like where you were in your journey or in your career as a songwriter artist before you came to Hitmakers and like what's been happening since.
I had already done a bunch of other songwriting camps, and I had already started placing music with a like boutique sync library. And so I was like already kind of doing the thing, right? But still feeling like maybe I'm a little plateaued, like there's something else that needs to happen here, right? And so, yeah, I kind of came in with, this is another side, another genre that I'd like to explore, mainly pop, right? And so I needed that boost. Like I needed something else, something exciting, something different. Yeah, because I was really longing for it. I felt like I was doing good, but not great yet. And I was like, okay, well, when is that going to come, right? Like, when is that next step going to happen? So
It's so interesting that you say that. I was doing good, but not great. There was something still in you. You're like, there's something here that's not tapped. I'm not being pushed out of my comfort zone. There's more here that I have yet to learn. And so it was beautiful. We got to meet at Hitmakers, and, obviously it was, there was a lot of people that were like, yeah, I was really scared and uncomfortable. But by the end of it, it was like, you could feel the energy in the room at the end of it. Like I literally, there was people crying, like leaving, being like, I don't want to go home.
Yeah, it was so much fun, definitely.
Yeah. So what's been happening? What's new and different since then? Since I last saw you, I know you're working on new music, and did anything kind of click for you since that retreat that helped you with your project?
Yeah, I think one thing I took away was that I had been dabbling so much in like many different directions. I think the thing that I didn't think about was like honing in on one specific thing, right? Maybe kind of not spreading out so much and really just honing in and trying to refine the one thing that like I felt really passionate about, right? And so I think that with that mindset, I really started approaching my EP in that way, whether I was refining more. And Bonnie actually said this, those like edits, that editing and editing until it's like perfect, until everything hits just right. And I think because I had been like kind of good for so long, I was like, well, I haven't been refining And so maybe that's what I need to go back and do, is that refining, that editing, that really critically looking at everything and listening to everything. And so that's the main piece that I took away.
Yes, almost like the perfectionism of it. And like, I really hardcore respect Bonnie for this, because she talks about her struggle with perfectionism and how like sometimes it holds her back, but it makes her a fantastic, obviously phenomenal, over the roof, successful songwriter, because she's a perfectionist. And people that were working with her live in the room, you know, like they almost walked out, like I could see the look on their face, almost deflated, right? Like oh, they got their butt kicked. And I was like, but isn't that a great experience? Like, what a great experience to get yourself kicked in the butt so hard by like a heavyweight, and then have them show you how it's done, you know? And so they were like, yeah, it was, do not pass go until the melody is perfect. Do not pass go until like it's just right. So you raise a really great point, and I think it's something that a lot of songwriters tend to skip over and completely miss and jump and phone it in and don't drive it home. So that's something we've been talking a lot about, of just like how to improve your craft, how to hone it, how to really dial in, and you have to have that patience. So thank you for sharing that was a big takeaway for you, was just the rewriting, the refining, all of that. Was there something else that stood out to you in the 3 days that we were together? Like, was there a piece of, whether it was like the coaching or like something reflective, whether it was like some of the journaling prompts, like did you have any other revelations while you were there? Anything that just like sparked something personal in you?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when we did the activity where we burned, you know, all the things that we say to each other, all the obstacles that we put in our way. That moment was so cool, because I'm like, yeah, it made me feel like I'm not alone in this journey. Oftentimes, you know, you get in your bubble, you're with your people, and you're like kind of locked in. And so you get like this zoomed in view of everything. You don't realize that, you know, a lot of people are battling through many different things, right? There's so many different obstacles. And a lot of times it's all in our head, and we're carrying it in our spirit. And it's just like, there's things that we should just let go in order to make room for other things. And that collective moment of everyone like, I'm going to say what I'm burning, and I'm just going to throw it in because I'm letting it go. I'm releasing it, right? And if I kind of name it, now I've named the thing, I've said it, I've pointed it out. And now I can't ignore it any longer, right?
Totally.
Yeah, that moment where we're all like just burning our objections. It was just so cool, because it was very liberating in that way. And to see so many creatives do the same thing and be so vulnerable, that was dope. Yeah,
for sure. That was 100% one of my favorite parts of the retreat. And what a great way to end it, too. I was like, okay, we all came in here with stuff, and we're all going to walk out of here a little bit lighter, a little bit more focused, a little bit more clear. And to do it in a group setting, in a community setting, in a place where we can all just wear our shit on our sleeve and be like, all right, I'm leaving this here, and I'm going to be witnessed in that. Like, I think you raise a good point, is that like, I think once we say the thing out loud, the thing that's like, the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, once we say it out loud, it instantly loses its power. And it also dissolves so much more quickly if you do it in community. And it's like, oh, all these people saw it. You know, you said it out loud. They witnessed you. They're supporting you. They're clapping for you, and we're all going to burn this shit together. So that was definitely one of my favorite moments too. And then, you know, next time I'm going to bring a bigger cauldron, because we had a lot of stuff to burn. You know, I have a huge witch cabinet in my house. I'm very spiritual. I'm all about the woo. And I only brought my like little small cauldron. And meanwhile, we were like stuffing everybody's like limiting beliefs in there. And we're like, all right, next time, got to bring a bigger cauldron. So if you could describe just like in one sentence, like what Hitmakers was to you, like if you could tell somebody like, you know, in one sentence, how would you describe the camp?
Hitmakers definitely was a stepping stone. I think that it's a space that really helps you look within, and it's affirming, but it's also equally challenging, and it makes you kind of step up to the plate, right? At least for me, it made me want to show up. It made me want to take up space. It made me want to, because the environment created that, right? And so that's the difference. I think that, because again, I've been to so many different events, that sometimes it can be competitive. Sometimes it's very like cutthroat. And I didn't feel any of that from this space. It was more like, hey, we know that there are some things we have to improve. Let's figure what those things are. Let's call them out and let's step up to the plate. Let's shine. Like, this is the place to shine. And so it really felt like it was like leveling up. I was stepping up. I was leveling up. So yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. I think it's so powerful to be immersed in something for an extended amount of time, because when you're able to sustain that frequency for a little bit longer than you normally do, I don't know, maybe you read a book or you read a podcast and you get inspired for like 10, 15 minutes. But if you're immersed with other creatives, other songwriters, and doing the thing for an extended period of time, 3 days locked in, something changes. Like, something in your soul and your body and who you are as an artist and a songwriter completely changes, because that's the environment, right? Like you said, you got out of your regular circle of people, your regular day-to-day routine. There's certain pieces of you that are always there, right? That have always been there, but based on the environment, are able to come out and come and shine in a new and different way. So we were so grateful to have you there, and like so excited that you were part of this experience, and you just made it so magical. And, I can recall that one of the things about you maybe possibly not being able to come was, the funds and like getting the money, and you had people like help you out and like all that stuff. And you, like, what I love about that is that, like, yeah, of course, it's an investment and it's a whole thing. And like, that can be a barrier, or it can be like a moment of like, I'm going to this no matter what. I'm figuring out my way and it's going to happen. And I really see and honor that in you, Uniq, as your personality is like, no, I'm doing this. I'm figuring out a way. And like, not everybody has that. And so I think what was really, again, also really special about that room was that I felt like everyone that was there had that personality trait where they were just like, I'm here, I'm doing the thing, I'm committed, I'm going to make this happen for myself. And I also wanted to just share something that stuck with me that you said to me while we were having our one-on-one conversation was just like your Thursday ritual. I don't know if you still do it, but like your check-in. Yeah, your check-in with like your people, like for no other reason other than to just like check in on your circle, your friends, your family, and just be like, hey, it's just thinking about you and all this stuff. And like, I felt really inspired by that. So I just wanted to kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about a little bit about like, what are some of your routines in your daily life? Obviously, this is a self-care podcast. So like, as a creative, like, how do you tend to yourself? What are some things that look like self-care to you? What's nurturing to you in your creative life?
Yeah. It's interesting that I was such a doer. Well, I'm still a doer, right?
Yes, you are.
I'm definitely fueled by something other than, I don't know what it is, but I've always been that type of person that I thrive in community. I always I need the hustle and bustle of life, right? And then when COVID happened, it kind of all stopped. And I was like, oh my God, like I need people. Like this is, what am I to do now, right? If that was a way that I considered a self-care thing. Like when I felt down, I would go be with my community and, we'd go dancing. We'd go do, go see a show, go do something, and you felt instantly better. But in this case, I had to figure something else out. And I realized that a self-care routine can also look like self-care products like facial products and a facial and, a mask or, go get your nails done. And so now I've kind of adopted that where it's like, I will try to pamper myself in that way where I'll go get my nails done, I'll get my eyebrows done. I'll do a facial at home. I have a whole skincare routine. And it's just a little way of just loving on myself, right? And it makes me feel confident. Like my mom has always said, if you look good, you feel good. So put on your Sunday best, go outside, right? Yeah. And it's true. For me, it makes me feel better and it makes me feel like, okay, now I can attack the day, even though on the inside, I'm not necessarily feeling like that. And it may be such a cliche thing, but it really does help. It really, really does help the inner self-esteem, you know,
self-esteem, 100%. I completely relate. And, you know, self-care for everybody's different. And I always ask that question just because everyone's creative process and internal nurturing can look really different. So one thing I wanted to bring up was you were extremely down to be visible at the retreat. And obviously you won, you won our contest for social media and you got to keep the headphones and all that stuff because you were like posting like crazy and like doing all this stuff. And I was just like, wow, Uniq is like in it to win it. Okay. And my next question is like, how does it feel to feel confident about putting yourself out there online? Because I know that this is a pain point for a lot of artists, a lot of songwriters. They're afraid to be visible. They're afraid to put themselves out there, but you were really active on like putting yourself out there, posting. So tell us a little bit about like what makes you feel confident about being visible online.
I think about just like the moments, right? Like these moments are not going to last forever. I like to document, you know, like, hey, this is what I've done, you know, like all of these moments are special. All of these people that I'm meeting are special. Like we get to do this. Like I have that mindset of, like we get to, like I get to wake up every morning and do the thing that I love to do, right? Like I get to experience the world the way that I want to experience it. And so I think I inject a little bit of that into, especially social media. It's like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You know, in a way, certain things I manifest even through social media. So many times I've literally like just been talking to myself on my phone, like I'm going to be doing this and this is what's going to happen. And then 6 months later, it's like, well, I said that. So now I'm going to go out there and
created it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of that. It's like, you know, maybe not so much seeing it as like putting so much pressure on yourself and it not being so like edited or overproduced. Sometimes it's just the moment, right? Like maybe it's just a story that you'll create into a reel later on. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
But it's about being in the moment. And I think that that's the way that I approached Hitmakers. I was like, we're going to be here for 3 days. Like I was going to document everything I was going to do anyway. So if I get to win a pair of headphones, awesome.
Exactly. You're like win. Yeah. Right. Awesome. Did Hitmakers change the way that you like saw yourself as an artist or a songwriter, or like, did it turn any wheels for you? Like change your own perspective of yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I think it gave me a tremendous boost of confidence for sure. And it also like helped me lock in on the things that I maybe think I was missing. Like I got exactly what I wanted to get out of it, right?
Yes.
I was like, I need that next level, that next step. And sometimes that next level, that next step is just like, oh, I need to refine this tool, or maybe I need to learn this skill. And that's the next step for me now, right?
Totally.
So,
yes.
yeah.
How was it working with Hit Songwriters live in the room? Like, how was that? I know everybody got to work with different mentors and we rotated and everybody kind of got a slightly different experience. But like, how was it for you learning wise, you know, experience wise? How did it feel to be in those rooms?
It was really cool. I mean, the day one, I got to sit in with Autumn and Midi, and they had already they already know each other and had a relationship. So that was cool. Like their chemistry kind of was infectious to ours in the room. And it's usually like that. It's like, you know, when the vibes, you know someone in the city, I'm like, oh, I'm working with you. Oh, great. So like all of that cool, like warmness comes into the room. Yeah, it was just really cool to watch them work. And also watch them do things that I was like, oh, okay, I've done that before in a session. And, you know, I never revisited that skill set. And maybe now I should implement it. That was really cool the way they did that. Right. And so little things like that, like the nuances of just the way they worked and how comfortable they were in space and how ideas were just kind of free flowing, and the ideas that made sense and like, you know, we caught the vibe with, you know, they were like, all right, yes, let's go with that. And it was just kind of like a never ending generator of ideas in the room kind of sparking, right? And I was like, oh, this is cool. Let's do that. Let's do this. And then it just kind of came together at the end. And I was like, yeah, this is exactly where I wanted to feel. Yeah. Where I need to be and what I wanted to feel specifically. Like that excitement of like, you don't know what's coming next, but it's all really cool. Like,
yeah. Where is this roller coaster going to take me?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. First of all, the amount of talent and hits, like I honestly blew my mind was blown of like all the mentors that said yes to those 3 days. I was like, there's no possible way I'm going to get all these people in the same room for 3 days. But like they said yes, they killed it. They created such great energy. I also heard great feedback that they were just like really warm and welcoming and nice and easy, down to earth, like easy to work with. So I'm so happy that was the experience for you. So tell us about your project, your music. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. Like, how did you get into music? Tell us about like your style of music and any projects that you've got coming up.
I would say that I got into music. I've always had the ability to sing, and I was like just a weird child. I was such a weird kid. Such a weird kid. And, you know, I had this real passion for music. I remember that here on the East Coast, there was this like, especially in the hip hop genre, there was this like show. It was called the Video Music Box. And all it did was like play music videos on rotation. And you would have to like call in like the 1-800 number if you wanted the music video you wanted to get played. Yeah. But I remember like watching that and seeing like TLC and the way that we're dressed and like the fusion of like pop, hip hop and like R&B. And felt instantly in love. I was like, oh my God, this is what I need in my life. Like I need to hear it. I need to see it. I need to dress like them. I wanted to like totally like completely fell in love with the genre and fell in love with the culture, and just that sparked kind of like this, there is a possibility of me being an artist, or I saw myself as an artist, right? And I would do silly things like interview myself on a couch, like just weird little,
flash forward, I'm interviewing you and you're on a podcast. She's famous, she made it.
Yes. No, but it's so funny because like, you know, as a kid, you kind of like, you dream and you get all these dreams and all these hopes, and you see yourself in this place. And then as a teenager, I actually met someone that was a recording artist, and they were like artist developing, and they brought me to my first studio session, and I fell in love right away. I just was like, this is what I want to do. And it had been a lot of years of just like trying to figure out how to do it, because the industry has changed so much from then. Like this is like early 2000s, right? So, you know, now music making is so accessible. And, you know, you can practically make music on your phone. And so that wave of like technology really, it gave me an opportunity to kind of like submerge myself in it and learn how to like make beats, right? So I got a MacBook, learned how to make beats on Logic, and then started recording myself. And then from there, I was like, okay, what's the next step outside of my home studio bedroom, right? Like, let me get out of here. And so I started going to songwriting camps, and I started signing up for songwriting camps, just going all over North America, and just finding a community of people, finding a community of producers, and then started expanding a little bit more, you know, kept doing that while working a regular job. And then I got an opportunity to become a teaching artist. So I started teaching music production. And so that kind of expanded me even further, because I started doing DJ programs, and now I'm learning how to do that. So yeah, it really opened up my eyes to the teaching artist aspect of things, where I really found a passion for also teaching young people how to do the thing and empowering them to like, you can make music. You can literally do it on your phone. Like there's nothing that can stop you from doing the thing that you want to do. And so I felt really connected to that mission. And then, I was like, eventually I took the leap to become an artist, because I had been songwriting and just kind of like making songs alone, then expanded out to starting to release music. And then my first project I released in 2017. And then I've just been releasing singles up until now, which I'm getting ready to release like my first EP.
Yes.
And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Oh, exciting. Oh, well, we're obviously rooting for you. Can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to dive into it. And, we're going to put all your music in the show notes so you guys can check out Unique's music. Can you share like the title of the EP, or is it still secret, or is it?
No. The title of the EP is called The Veil.
Okay.
So
beautiful.
So it's this concept of like, because my experience has always been so behind the scenes as a songwriter, it's really making my reintroduction as a artist and stepping from behind the veil
and
in front of the spotlight and being the one taking up the space, right? And like being confident and owning it. And so, it's taken me a very long time to finally make that decision and feel confident enough to step from behind the veil. And I'm here now and I'm ready. And so
that's so amazing. Oh my God. I love the concept of everything. I know that this part right here of this episode is going to resonate with a lot of songwriters that love music, but are a little bit afraid to step into that light and call themselves an artist or, go for it. Because I feel like some people are like, who am I to be this person? Who am I to take up space? Who's going to listen? So thank you for sharing that there was a real fear or just like an uncomfortability around taking up space as an artist. So what changed for you? Like what made you make that decision?
I think that just my past experience in like the last year or so, Hitmakers definitely added more fuel to that fire for sure.
on top of the cauldron fire.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Through all the gas in that fire. But no, I think it's just been something that's like been happening slowly. This confidence is starting to, I've also been developing so I've been taking a lot of like artist development classes with a company in New York City that's called Audio Angels. And so they host like a lot of like intensive boot camps where we'll learn a bunch of songs and we're like literally performing full out. Like,
nice.
Like full choreo, all of it. So like learning how to dance, being comfortable in my body, right? Movement in my body on stage.
So good.
Right. These things that were so foreign to me because I had been behind the scenes for such a long time. And, at first it was rocky. Like learning choreo was hard. But eventually it started to become easier and easier and I started feeling better in my own skin. And I think, that development really helped me like open that door.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that funny that like confidence just seems to grow and multiply purely off the fact of doing something over and over again? Like if we all knew that if it was just, if we did it once, then it's not so scary. And then we do it again, it gets better and easier and faster. And all of a sudden you're confident at that new skill. So wild. That's so cool. That sounds super fun. Like I want to come. I would sign me up. I want to do some choreo.
Yes.
What do you do? Do you have to wear heels? Is it like a heel? Well, how does the choreo go? I'm curious. My curiosity is piqued.
It's like gender neutral. Like you don't have to wear heels. There are some classes that are like only heel work and like floor work. I'm not that kind of girl, right? But it does really help. Like even my music, it's like my personal, brand of music. I'm not going to be doing like crazy choreo. But the one thing that it did really help me with, it helped me be more conscious of like connecting my brain to my body. And even like, what am I doing with my hands on stage, right? Like, what is my facial features doing? Like things like that, these little nuances that I don't think that maybe as songwriters, we're probably not too much thinking about that stuff, right? We're thinking about the lyrical impact and the emotional impact. But those nuances on stage, it gave me that, that boost of like,
amazing. Well, I'm so glad that you have this newfound confidence and that you have your first EP coming up. I know there's no date in mind, but we'll keep the date in mind. And, by the time this episode airs, which I'll let you know when it does, we'll definitely promote the EP, whether it's coming up or about to come out. So we'll put all the links. Now, how do people reach out to you if they want to collaborate with you or, say, hey, I want to, learn how to do production lessons or whatever? Like, how do you want people to find you and connect with you?
You can find me at Uniq Being on all platforms. So Uniq Being is pretty straightforward. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
Amazing. Yeah. Is there anything that you would want to tell your younger self? one piece of advice to your younger self. Now, because like you were talking about your baby Uniq, who was this child dreaming of being TLC, who's about to put out her new EP very soon. What would you want to tell her?
That risks can be rewarding. Taking risks can be rewarding. So don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Perfect. What a great way to end the episode. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, sharing your experience. And yeah, we'll definitely put everything in the show notes. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I hope this episode supported you. If this resonated with you, share it with a friend, leave us a review. It is the best way to ensure that other artists and songwriters get the support that they need. If you are ready to go deeper, join us at the Hitmakers Songwriting Retreat this October 2026 in Los Angeles. This is our 3-day immersive experience where serious songwriters get in the room, write with hit songwriters, and elevate their careers. You can find all the details in the show notes, along with my book, Self-Care for the Creative. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, your greatest masterpiece will always be you.